Good evening. I would like to call the October 19th board meeting to order. Please take all board members are present with an exception of Debbie Ferry Nelly. Please stand for the pledge and invocation.
Please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day, and thank you for those that are here tonight attending this meeting, and so we can make wise decisions for our school as we go forward. And thank you for the grace and mercy you show us each day, and be protective of our students, staff, and administrators through the year. In thy name we pray.
Amen. Please take a look at the agenda. If there are no additions to the agenda, can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
I second.
It has been moved by Richard Bach, seconded by Lucille Holmes to approve the agenda as printed. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Our FYI items are listed. Dr. Mucci, any of those items that you wanted to touch on?
I'd just like to recognize Charles Johnson on being a member of the Mississippi Education Policy Fellowship Program. He's one of the fellows, and we are lucky to have him in the Cleveland School District.
All right, congratulations. All right, public participation.
None.
All right, cabinet updates, reports. Gonna start with superintendent updates.
Okay. I just hit something. We'd first like to start with student ADA. And, I don't have to call you the teacher. So remember, month one is August and September. Of course, we did not hit the target of 95%, but in your FYI, you saw a letter from the state about this is a national problem with attendance. And I think that we're making progress, and each school has been asked, and I've now received all of them today, and so I haven't shared them with you yet because I just finished collecting them, to create their own attendance plan. So we'll be able to see what they're doing positively to help us get these children back in school 5 days a week, not 3, because we've got posters out that the state has given. We have schools doing rewards. So it's not terrible, but it's not, of course, where the district goal would like to be. First, for the elementary is Hayes Cooper at 97.92. And at the upper campuses, they were very close, but the middle school reached 92.21. So the district average was at 93.36 for student ADA. Our teacher ADA, pleased that it looks really good, really strong, and I'm hoping that the incentive that you saw the list for August, you all got the extra day for perfect attendance, is going to help with that as well. We know when the teachers are in school every day, then we have more instruction taking place. I attended the professional growth system training along with several administrators in the district at Delta State this past month. We've held our monthly PSTO and pastoral council meetings in September. And the next meeting, we're combining the PSTO for the district, the Title I and the pastoral council on the 26th at 5:30 to collect some data that Mr. Towers needs and have it all at one site for the month of October. We had an NDE literacy night for students in the 3rd grade on September 12th. I am continuing to attend the new superintendent network meetings. There are 4 that are required, so I've been to now 2. I know Mr. Towers will elaborate on this later, but Naylor is no longer a CSI status school. They have come off the list, which is huge. And we have no failing schools in the district, which is awesome.
Great.
So I'm really pleased.
I think we can hand for that.
We still have work to do, we realize that, but we're well on our way.
When are we gonna have our principal meetings?
Whatever probably, I was thinking November or December, so I was gonna ask y'all later when y'all wanna do that. I wanna thank all the local area churches that have been feeding our football teams on Friday. We've had a lot of community support with that, and they've done a really good job, and we appreciate it. Homecoming is this Friday against Gentry. Parade starts at 3:45, is that right, Ms. Johnson? There will be a cactus supper that the Booster Club is doing as well. Also, on our website is a link to, we talked to you about Lean Stream, doing fundraisers, collecting prom dues, PTA dues, you can do everything with this. So we've got the site up and running, we have a blanket from the softball team, some shirts, a sweatshirt, so there's a link on the website if you're interested. I've already bought 2 shirts, I'm ready to get my shirts so I can start wearing them. So we are encouraging that platform, and we knew we had to get it off the ground to get it started so people would see how easy it is, so I'm looking forward to that. I attended a swim meet this past weekend, and we have 9 students that will be going to state, and they leave tomorrow at 1, so we want to wish them well, and they have worked really hard to get to the next level. Our volleyball season ended this past week. We were in the first round of the playoffs and lost to Corinth. But we are, appreciative of Delta State for allowing our volleyball team to play at White Gym when our air conditioner wasn't fixed. So our season is over at volleyball, but I wanted to make sure we commend Delta State. The president has been amazing. Ms. Johnson, myself, and Mr. Johnson, we had lunch with him one day last week at the cafeteria. Saw Mr. Evans there. If you hadn't eaten there, it's wonderful. Anyway, that's all I have, and at this point, I want to offer our Bailey consultant to come first for a short presentation.
Take it, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's 2 pages.
Okay, everybody good? All right, well, good evening. I'm Kelly Russell Bailey. Been here with you before to kind of update you on data analysis. So the last time we updated this was in April. And so you have since then received your state test data, which is what this reflects. So this has a comparison for each building that we worked in. You have 2 sheets, one that tells you the total number of days and what content area, and then one that tells you the growth, or where we increased, where we decreased, or where there was no area of support from our company. So you'll see at Bell, each of the areas, you'll see she received ELA writing, math, and counseling training at Bell. You'll see her areas of increase and where she decreased. You'll see if she increased in proficiency, she decreased in growth, which means some of her bottom kids did not move, but her top kids did. So you'll see that where you see the green boxes. And you'll also see in her red was her math, growth, and bottom 25. She still remained an A, and she increased. You'll see at Cleveland Central Middle School, ELA support only. So you'll see the areas where we went up, you'll see the areas where they went down. If it's a gray box, we did not support that area of coaching. For Cleveland Central, for DM Smith, you will see ELA and science support. For Parks Elementary, you will see ELA and science support. For Pierman, you will see ELA and science support. And Cleveland Central High School, you will see ELA, US History, counseling, and ACT support. So every area that is green is where there was an increase. The red is where there was a decrease. And the gray is where we did not support. At this time, we are just coaching in science in the district, not in ELA and math support, except for at Bell. At Bell, we are doing some ELA math and science. In the other buildings, we are only supporting in science at this time. Any questions?
Why is Parks and Pyramid falling so much?
Okay, so in parks, when you look at where they fell, they increased in reading proficiency from 25% to 37%. They decreased in growing all students, so a lot of her 4s and 5s did not stay 4s and 5s. A lot of her bottom 25 didn't grow, and you see that's where she took the biggest hit, was her bottom 25%. Her benchmark, however, she showed growth, so her bottom 25% was an area where she did not, her data did not match all year long by her end of the year performance. Consistently, those kids showed growth and did not on end of the year benchmark. At Pierman, you will see she's had, those are new teachers. She's had a consistent turnover rate in her ELA. I think she now has a group that is there, but she did have a turnover rate in ELA. She's had consistency in some of her areas, but new people and new faces. Her science, you will see that is an increase, and that's going to be a new person there, which I think you're going to see some great things from her there.
So where we see the red at, that's where they decreased.
That's correct.
Now, are we doing something different in those red areas, or are we doing the same thing again?
That
Or
will
am I
probably,
mis-
And
or am I
I'm not,
misinterpreting?
we are not coaching those areas, so
So
I
this-
can't,
so that'll be,
This,
red?
this is the number of days for
from last
22,
year, from last
22,
year.
23.
That's correct.
Okay.
Beginning this school year, we're just
We
coaching
don't,
science
we don't, for,
for any building,
shut your mouth.
except for Bell.
so Richard.
Bell, we are doing
your
ELA,
question
math, and
would be a
science.
question for Ms. Towers' curriculum.
Well, I thought this was her chart.
Yes, but this is on the data from the, spring test,
Yeah.
the test that they took in May.
So you have to,
Right,
ain't
right, right, I
language,
understand
math,
that.
and nothing what you just,
But,
Just
just
science.
So other groups are doing this.
so the red is,
The areas they fell short in.
they fell short in, and your group didn't do that. You said the gray was the only one.
Gray is the only area we didn't coach. Those red numbers, we did
You're
coach in those
responsible
areas.
for those.
That's right.
Okay,
I
so
will
are we
take
doing something
responsibility.
different?
I cannot speak to that because I'm not coaching at this time.
I
So the
can-
change would be,
I can attest to some of the changes. One of the changes that's taking place at Pyramid Elementary is the implementation of wind time. That takes place on a daily basis where students receive intervention. And it's not just those computer-led interventions, you have teachers who are working directly with the students. We also have a district level instructional coach who is providing support to those teachers because as she stated, we do have a lot of turnover that takes place at Pyramid, so we do have some.
I'm not just talking about pyramid, there's red spots everywhere.
I mean, it's.
But, I mean,
it's ultimately
there's more on the
based
pyramid than is anywhere, but, every school on here's got red.
that new program that you said that they're doing every day,
The HUIM.
is that everywhere?
Yes,
If all schools are doing it?
It's my fault.
We've
But
got,
everything
we've
is
got
based
another
on
company
individual
doing
schools.
some, right? Kids First.
right, they're gonna
See,
speak
they,
next.
they've taken that over.
They taking over the red spots.
No, they're gonna talk about their, results.
For the areas that they
That they-
supported.
Which would be the gray.
Probably so, yes.
So, but there's a few of those, I didn't ask about the gray, I just asked about
About
the
the
red.
red.
Yeah.
Red's the only one we
Because you're responsible for the red.
Pyramid bleeding.
And I asked the question, was, I guess, answered because, you know, we don't need to do the same thing. If it didn't work last year,
Right.
Right.
And
we
so
don't need to do the
you're,
same thing.
that's correct. So you're at a point now where all of your buildings, you've been, because you have no failing schools. That's a great thing. You're at a point now that
Well,
every
we
one of
don't
these.
have all A schools either.
That's correct, but you're at a point now where every one of these boxes, it's drilling down to the kid now. Because you moved in proficiency, that's where you see most of your green. That's a great thing. But that means, are we growing all kids and are we moving our bottom? You'll see the numbers on the bottom end is where we've got a focus, and that's where she's talking about intervention time. That's gonna help move that.
So when you, correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, when you first start off, you gotta have that growth concept to get it going. And then you move to getting those to proficient. And
and then
then,
you gotta keep them there.
Got it.
right.
Because that's why Hayes Cooper dipped.
Right.
She has a 4 problem, some of them just are not, they didn't get, and it's tough to go
It's
from
tough to
4
get a
to 5.
big growth there.
Right.
Oh, we're always hard to
And,
maintain.
But when you're starting here, it's easier to get growth.
Right.
Because you hit the bottom.
You're at the bottom.
Nowhere to go but up. You can't
Maybe
go-
next year we won't see as much red.
That is
If you
always
look at
the
them,
goal.
some of them are not well off the mark. I mean, if you look at math growth for Bell, it went from 88 to 83.9. So, I mean, you're talking that could be 2 or 3 kids.
Well, so she moved some of her 3s to 4s.
Right.
She lost some 4s. We looked at those
Right.
kids. So you're gonna see a decrease in growth overall, if not every kid. Those boxes where you see reading growth and math growth, that is every single kid in the school. That's the
Right.
top kid, the middle kid, and the bottom.
Right.
If they don't all move, that box doesn't move. So that area is where you have to be careful as proficiency increases. We have to grow everybody. We can't just focus on the
If
higher
I'm looking at
kids.
one, we were 81 and now
Now
we're 38.
38, that's something there.
So that would be her 4th and 5th grade
Right.
bottom 25 that did not grow. It's a select group of kids.
Yeah.
No, that's all I got. Go ahead and finish your presentation.
Any other questions for me? At this point where your benchmark is, we don't have enough data in science to give you an update. Just because of where you are at this point in the school year, we did not start those contracts until the end of August, 1st of September. We haven't been with the teachers long enough to give you a data update. You can at the next, possibly the next benchmark, be able to see the impact of coaching.
So maybe by December.
Whenever you give your next benchmark, you'll be able to compare results from where they started to where they are now.
And do you all have anything else? Any other questions? Okay,
George, you anything?
thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Kids first.
Good evening. My name is Stephanie Allen, and I'm standing in the place of Chuck Fuller this evening. So I'm gonna kind of go over, I'm kind of informal, but I'm giving you all 2 copies, and I'm sorry that I did not make enough copies for this side of the room. So please forgive me, I will send an email as soon as I get home tonight so that we can look at it. The first handout that we're gonna look at is going to show where our footprint within the district. So in 21, Kids First was not really in the district at all. And 22 and 23 is when we started making a footprint within the district. And as you'll see, just like our counterparts, you can see what schools we were in. We were in 7 of your schools within the Cleveland Public School District. And we have outlined the days in which we were there. A lot of the scope and the coaching focus was based on student tutorials towards the end and the beginnings of implementation with teacher effectiveness for HQIM. So those high quality instructional materials. So if you look at that and kind of peruse that, tutorials again and some coaching, but it was very limited. We spent the most amount of time between the middle school and the high school. And again, the high school, we saw a lot of growth with our bottom 25% with algebra because we kind of moved away from the teacher and started working with the students to get them prepared for the state test. All right, so the next handout that you have, again, I know you all are probably tired of looking at charts, is just showing you what the data actually said. Again, our first year truly in the district was 22, 23. And wherever you see green, we're moving in the right direction. Wherever we see red, we still have a ways to go. The only school that we did not go in and do any tutorials in was in Hayes Cooper. And if you look at the 22 versus 23 grade, Parks and Hayes Cooper were the ones that, just kind of was stagnant or kind of went down. If you turn the page, you can look individually at each school. And again, we can't really speak to the numbers because we did not do a lot of the teacher coaching, okay? But again, we are now in the district with trying to push HQIM, which we are on a grant, working with teachers. And when you look at, again, the most impact of the numbers, we had a big footprint, again, with that algorithm. What we found is that student tutorials, with some teacher coaching, was the most effective method in trying to move schools forward. So fast forward to 2023, we are now in the district, and again, with HQIM, we are working with teachers in every school. Okay, are there any questions? We had a small, like I said, we had a small number of days that we actually worked into the district. And like I said, our biggest impact was with student tutorials and starting to push those HQIM materials. And helping teachers to really get in and dig in and implement. So 22, 23,
So, I guess I'm on this page 2.
yes, sir.
That's what page we should really be looking at? Is that what
Yes, sir, you can. The first page, page 1, is just the overview of what the school's
I can
actually.
figure that out.
Yes, sir.
Page 2,
Page 2.
green is good, red is bad.
Yes, sir, and then you can use this sheet as well, because like if you look at Naylor, we had 16 days, but it was just based on coaching the teachers and kind of easing them into the HQIM curriculum. At Parks, we did math tutorials, and it was about 17 days. At Bell Academy, we only had 10 days, and again, that was ELA coaching, and that was kind of focused into the HQIM. At Pyramid, we had math coaching and tutorial. DM Smith, we only had ELA and math for a total of 23 days for the entire school year. So when you're looking at the numbers, like I said, we can't, Kids First can't take total ownership of all of the grants, because I heard you when you said it.
Language.
But we are working to work with our teachers as we move into the district now to prepare them with student tutorials and the implementation of the HQIM in collaboration with the district personnel to move our schools forward. Yes, sir.
So basically, you all saw areas that you needed to do different, saw strategies that you need to do different for this upcoming year based on the data that we got.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And basically, it's a mixture of
We
not
see
just.
the strategies as being something different that we hadn't tried or something like that?
Yes, as she stated, last year they primarily focused on student pullouts. And when you think about it, if I'm coming into a building and I'm pulling out students for 10 days versus a teacher who's there for 180 days, we need to focus on building teacher capacity as far as the content and instructional strategy. So that's what we're doing different this year, is making sure that we provide teachers the necessary support so they can teach effectively for those 180 days that they have students.
And they've already started all this.
Yes, sir.
And then you'll get an assessment when?
We're gonna look at our December benchmark data. I do receive work reports, weekly that I review, and then I debrief with the building level administrators to make sure that those suggestions and strategies are actually being implemented on a daily basis.
Do you all have any other questions?
I got one.
Okay.
I thought I heard you say earlier that you all are not coaching any teachers.
Well, this year, we're coaching in building teacher capacity with the HQIM
And I
materials.
just heard you say at Naylor y'all had 16.
Yes, sir, we had 16, and that was coaching, that's when we were starting to begin implementing this new curriculum, to build the rigor within the classrooms and within instruction.
What about the other buildings?
The other buildings, again,
Elementary.
elementary parks, 17 days, that was just student pullouts. At Bell, that was coaching, teacher coaching, that was 10 days. And again, we were starting to push in on the HQIM as they transitioned into, is it My View? Because we have My View and My Perspectives for ELA, and Envision for math. At Pyramid, we had 39 days, and again, that was more towards the end, within the last month as we prepare for state test, where we spent 18 days trying to just work with the students, because they had another provider working with the teachers in that area for ELA. And then.
When you say another provider, you talking about another consultant?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Say what you mean.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. So then DM Smith, again, we had some coaching there, but again, a lot of it was student tutorials. And what I found across the state, I myself, I taught in Tupelo Public School District for many years. I'm an old woman. And we are in Tupelo Public School District, my children go to school there. And so what we have found is pushing the HQIM in those districts and conjunction, doing those student pullouts, it's a better fit than just beating a dead horse with teachers all year long. And if we can raise the rigor by pushing in on the HQIM and working with students, that was a more of a different model than the traditional consultant pushing in the districts.
Are the teachers being resistant? You know how they go.
We are working around that.
Okay, then.
Ms. Holmes, we are working around that, but for the most part, we hadn't had many issues. Our school leaders have been really great in working with us and kind of like moving past that. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. You all have a good evening.
All right.
Okay.
Good job.
Ms. Towers, do you have additional curriculum updates?
I have some data on here.
Okay.
I also have my curriculum.
Okay.
Okay, on the screen, you see, the fall 2023 State of the District report, which primarily focuses on the 2023 assessment data. First, we're going to look at district map proficiency of comparison from 2019 to 2023. And of course, 2019 is our pre-COVID year, so we wanted to make sure that we looked at or identified some of the information to see if we are actually improving or increasing our scores before COVID. So if you look at the information, you'll see that there is an increase in all content areas except science in comparison to 2019 and 2023.
I saw that where it was so big there is, why was that that year of 52%?
I wasn't here, I don't
No.
It's 2019.
So they changed it to, okay, go ahead, I just thought that was kind of strange.
Okay, and also if we compare our data from 2022 to 2023, there was an increase in proficiency in all content areas except U.S. history. Now, as they discussed, we are being intentional to make sure that we provide some additional support to build teacher capacity in the areas of science. And we are also utilizing vendors to provide support in the areas of U.S. history.
That MCAS score, that's our, this year, first grader.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Next, we also want to highlight or talk about our math growth, because of course, we earn points from proficiency as well as growth. So there was an increase in all areas except our bottom 25% of students in reading as well as EL positive. And as we stated, we're making sure that we are implementing high-quality instructional materials. I have engaged in learning walks at several of the schools with MDE, and what we've noticed is that some teachers were using resources that they probably had stored away for quite some time, and that has pretty much been deemed ineffective when you see your data. So we're making sure that they're receiving the actual coaching and support to be able to build those reading foundational skills. Next, I broke down our ELA proficiency by grade level because that allows us to identify any target areas of support that we need to be able to provide in a district level. We can see that there was some increase in all areas. However, there was a decrease in 3rd grade and 7th grade, so those are identified as our target areas of support. Looking at our ELA, math growth per grade level, one of our target areas that we identified as 6th grade ELA. Compared to all of the grade levels, you will see that there was a significant decrease across the district. When we look at 2022, we had 52%, and there was a decrease of 44%, and that's our growth of all students, as well as there was a decrease in our growth for our lower performing 25% of students. In 2022, they were at 52%, however, there was a decrease from 39%. So we're making sure that we're also targeting them and providing them with additional support on the district level. We facilitate monthly ELA content sessions to make sure that they are able to deconstruct their standards and provide effective lessons to their students. And we're also taking an initiative to ensure that writing is being embedded in the curriculum as well. Next, looking at our math proficiency per grade level, there was an increase in proficiency, but the lowest across grade levels that we need to target is 5th grade as well as 7th and 8th grade math. And you will see that there is a continuous dip. You have higher proficiency levels in 3rd and 4th grade, then there's a significant decrease in 5th grade, there's a slight increase in 6th grade, but then we also have a decrease in 7th and 8th grade. And one thing that we've identified is that a lot of students, if they want to be successful on the math component of the ACT, the first 40 questions on the ACT is coming from your 8th grade math standards. So we need to make sure that we increase the rigor of instruction. So we're ensuring that those teachers are utilizing the Envision math curriculum with fidelity. Next, looking at math growth per grade level. There was a decrease in 5th grade in all growth as well as low growth. So again, that is one of our target areas. They were at 75% growth in 2022, but there was a decrease of 55% in 2023. Likewise, with our bottom 25% of students, there was 82% of growth for those students. However, there was a decrease to 68%. Next, we have our science math proficiency across the district. You see that all of our areas are increasing. However, there was a 6% decrease for biology 1.
Did they change the test there, or do the same test?
Not for biology 1.
Probably had to change teachers.
Okay, and next we're going to look at our math comparison for the 3rd grade gate assessment. We can start looking at Bell Academy. 87% of our students passed their 3rd grade gate assessment on their first attempt. We had a 97% promotion rate, and that is in conjunction with a 10% of the students were able to promote based on the good cause exemption. D.M. Smith Elementary, 48% of students passed the 3rd grade gate test on their first attempt. 69% of those 3rd graders were promoted to the 4th grade, and 21% of those students were promoted based on the college exemption. For high school percentage, 77% of students passed on their first attempt. 100% of those students were promoted to the 4th grade, and 23% of those students were promoted based on good college exemption. For Parks Elementary, 55% of students passed their assessment on their first attempt. 83% of those students were promoted to the 4th grade, and 29% of those students were promoted based on good cause exemption. And lastly, Pyramid Elementary, 46% of students passed on their first attempt. 83% of those students were promoted to 4th grade, and 37% of those students were promoted due to good cause exemption.
What is a good cause
There are
exemption?
several areas where students can be promoted to the 4th grade without passing that 3rd grade gate test. That's if your students currently have an IEP, or if we have documentation that they have been receiving interventions for the past 2 years. Some students who have an IEP and they're deemed that the gateway assessment does not necessarily fit or cater to their needs. And then we also have a good cause exemption for our EL students who we pretty much have documentation that they've been receiving from the course of 2 years.
But whether they can read or not, we go on more.
There's 5 categories that the state recognizes, and you have to fit those categories and have documentation of
Just
all
fit
those.
all 5 of one to 5.
That's one of 5. And one of the exemptions is passing it at the 2nd test. That's good cause.
Oh, is that the
D.
2nd test,
That's
3rd
considered a
test?
good cause. The second or
Okay.
third, yeah,
Uh,
that's considered a good
I
cause
just-
also.
okay.
Which is D.
All right.
I have a question, Ms. Towers, with those, so the percentages, not, so those would be our repeaters. Our MTSS process with the IRPs, is that a strong, is that strong in those, specifically in those areas of 69%, 83%?
Yes, ma'am, I would say that this year, because we do have Ms. Anna Bennett who's taking the lead on MTSS this year, that it is being implemented with fidelity.
Okay, good.
That she is ensuring that proper documentation is in place for those students who are receiving intervention.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and on the last remaining slides, and I know that, our building level administrators will have the opportunity to present and discuss their data. We just wanted to show you some of the accountability results, from last year, as well as what their accountability goals are for the upcoming school year. So, in black, you will see what their accountability results were. So for Bell Academy, they were at 493 and 8. And their goal for 2024 is to maintain an 8, and the minimum that they would like to receive is a 455
But they'll go over that with us.
Right. She's, all those other slides, you can,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
those are just FYI.
All right.
Okay, looking at D.M. Smith Elementary, accountability results, they earned 329 points, earning them a rating of a C, and their goal for the upcoming year is a 385, which is a B. And there were significant gains for growth of all students and lowest performing students, and that's what really pushed them to reach that score. For Hayes Cooper, total points, they were at a 422.6, which is a B. They have set a goal for 463, which is an A. And I know that Mrs. Lamassas will elaborate further, but she does have some action steps and some changes that she's implementing currently to make sure that they are back at A status. Next, H.M. Naylor Tigers. One thing that I wanted to pinpoint is that schools who have the highest grade level of second grade, they receive their accountability rating from third grade and fourth grade test scores. So pretty much the majority of the students who are promoted to the third grade enter D.M. Smith Elementary School. So that's where they earn the bulk of their points. So for proficiency, for reading and math, they look at the scores of the third graders who are still in the district that attended the school as second graders. And then for growth of all students, they look at the scores of the fourth graders to see if they grew from third grade to fourth grade. So that's where Naylor received their accountability points. As you can see, proficiency for reading was 27.3. For reading, for math, it was 31.8, but they received the bulk of their points from actually being able to grow those students from third grade to fourth grade.
From what DEM did.
Yes. For Parks Elementary, they earned 298 points, which is a B. She has set a goal of 380, which is a B. And the target is to ensure that all students are growing as well as those students who they are targeting for the bottom 25% of growth. Here in elementary school, earned a 270D, goal is 320. And once again, they're going to get more bang for their buck to ensure that they are growing all their students in the bottom 25%. But as Ms. Earls did say, one thing that we've noticed is that some of the students who are entering our grade level, are in the grade level as proficient, the following year they actually decrease. So we need to make sure that we are placing emphasis on making sure those students are remaining proficient. So if they're level 4, we want to make sure that they're growing to a level 5 or at least maintaining their level 6. Cleveland Central Middle School, total points 273D. Their goal for this year is to earn a 340 seat. And lastly, we have Cleveland Central High School. They earned 663 points, which is a B, and their goal for this year is to maintain at least a 650 B. And that concludes the presentation. Have any questions?
I have another question. I know we implemented reading to read primarily at DM in January. Are we still utilizing that this year?
Yes, ma'am, we're utilizing reading to read at DM, and I know Dr. Belushi has talked about implementing it at Parks Elementary.
Once we get to January, I'm gonna look at moving them to parks.
Okay, so where are they now?
Densely.
Okay.
They sent me pictures today that the retired teachers that are working dress khaki, and they sent me the pictures saying they were really cute.
Okay.
How they were still participating in homecoming.
All right. Do you all have any other questions for Mrs. Howard? Okay. Business department.
All right. Good evening, you all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The first link that you have is our standard business office financial reports presented to you each month. So we have the August statement of income, budget status report, statement of fund balance, our expenditure reports, cash flow reports, and after closing out FY23, we're representing the June, July, and August bank reconciliations. You have any questions?
Fund balance 12-9.
We on, please hang on.
On your first page, we got a fund balance of 12-9. This is fund balance for August 23rd.
Yeah, that's for August, we had 12,954,646 in the district maintenance bank account, and then food service, we had a fund balance of $1,362,129. And you can see there your expenses and your revenue for the month. The next one we have, I'm asking approval for, to contract with Debt Book. Our auditors now are asking us to contract with a third party to help us comply with the newly implemented accounting principles, which is GASB 96. And basically what that is, any contract that the district or the board has approved, we now have to thoroughly go through them to see if they meet the requirements of what they're calling a SABITA. And that's a subscription-based information technology agreement. So that's all of our web licenses that we paid for FY23. So we're asking approval to contract with Debt Book, who will come in and read through all of those contracts and answer the determination questions for us. And
Where, I don't see, where,
that's the second link on the financials.
Second league.
oh, okay, yeah, come out of that one.
Mhm. That's the second link. And so it costs $12,500. It's $2,500 for the startup, and then $10,000 per year thereafter.
All right, so this is a program for you to be able to use that organizes those things?
Yes, so what they will do, they'll take all of our contracts and web licenses that we have.
In other words, you don't enter it, you gotta give them the information.
I'll give them, that's the startup part of it. And so next year, we won't do that portion of it. I'll start implementing any contract that we have now and answering the determination question as we approve the contracts each month. But now I have to go through a whole year of them.
But we won't, let's say, 5 years from now, you decide to terminate them or whatever and move somewhere else. That information, will it move with you, or you'll have to rebuild a database again?
No, we will own that information.
You own, well, the
Yes.
district owns that information.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, one more question. So, you're saying it's web licenses, so then, can the board get a breakdown of that once you have this?
Sure.
And you can give us and show us, because it's so piecemeal for us. You know, we have some web licenses that come due, it's different times of the year.
Yes, and what's so unique about this program is that it allows us to put in the start date of the contract and the end date, and it calculates the liability for the next few years or for the duration of that contract. And so we'll be able to see all of that at hand once we print out, we can export it to Excel and it'll show you every contract that the district has, that's whether long-term or short-term. And so with the new GASB 96 compliance, we're now having to show these multi-year contracts as a liability on our financial statements.
Okay.
And so that's the reason why we're having to do this
Right.
this year, and it started this FY '23.
So it didn't show up as a liability before, but even though it was a 5-year contract,
Correct,
and you owed for 5 years, but you just paid it as you went, and it came off as an expenditure every time.
correct, and we never showed it as a liability, so now they want us to show it as a liability, so it'll ultimately decrease what we're showing in the net fund balance.
Right.
Yeah.
And, is that, that's not an agenda item?
It is.
It
So it's
is
gonna be-
later on? Okay.
Yeah, we can approve them all
We
together.
approve it all together.
The next one, is asking for approval to amend the open purchase order for the maintenance department. We had some unexpected expenses and repairs at one of our schools. We originally asked for an annual amount of $2,000. We're asking for an increase to $10,000.
We got 2 or 3 payments to them in the packet,
Yes,
to Officer Electric. So this is just the open purchase order?
That's the open purchase order
That
part.
way they doesn't have to get a PO every time. Okay, is
that's
that,
right.
that's something we're gonna vote on at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
The perfect attendance for August is just FYI to show you all, the results of our newly implemented policy in GBRI. We had, I think, 103 employees to meet the perfect attendance for the month of August.
Great.
So, I wasn't one, but I'll be on there by October.
You
All
were
right.
here to central office, let me see who didn't make.
None of us, really.
Should I look for your name? I didn't see it.
Dr. Ramucci.
This is kind of shorter.
I'm not gonna take it.
All right.
Okay, and the next thing I have approval of to amend the supplements on our salary scale. If you take a look at the highlighted portions of it, we have, bus driver, field trip, substitute bus driver rate, and, additional high school cafeteria supplement.
This is a additional high school cafeteria supplement. This person manages 2
She
cafeterias.
does.
Yes, and she's been doing it for the entire school year, and so once it was brought to our attention, and last year, and once it was brought to our attention.
And she drives the food to the, once John changed jobs, she takes, so.
Do we pay the bus drivers they have to spend the night, all those hours?
No, just for driving the bus.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and the last thing on there is your disposal of assets. We're requesting to dispose of these assets. Please note the gains or loss portion of that asset report is a total of $10,508.28 loss, mainly due to the greenhouse at the CTE building. It had a useful life of 20 years. Of course, we didn't keep it that long, so once you calculate the gains or losses on it, it's gonna be a loss. We no longer have that program.
All right, you all have any questions for Ms. Fuller? All right, federal programs, Ms.
Once we
Pamela.
dispose those items, they'll come off the master list.
Yes.
Make sure that they,
Regarding the federal program, the preliminary numbers show that we should meet our 85% carryover for Title I and Title V for FY '23. That's looking pretty good. So we won't know actually until probably December or probably January, February, once we submit them our printouts from Marathon. Because we have to show where we actually paid the funds out in our system. So, but based off of what we've already spent, we just have to make sure we get it off the books and paid for by December. But right now, we're looking good. We're just gonna have to monitor to make sure we get all the bills paid, so we can be compliant. The district had a homeless application I submitted a few months back And we received the allocation of over $93,000. And what we use the homeless allocation for uniforms, food cards, supplies, technology, and we can also do, there's a spot in there you can pay for a temporary house and things of that nature. But I know with the food cards are available only during times we are on break. Like I said, we had fall break. We were out that Friday and that Monday, so the food cards can be used for those days to supplement those meals that the students would normally get while they were in school. And a bunch of it, we'll be able to buy toiletries and things of that nature because our closet there has been depleted and we have to, it's getting cold outside, we need to go through and reorder enough uniforms for everybody because we did have some schools that called for uniforms and unfortunately we weren't able to accommodate them at that time because we didn't have those sizes. So that's something else we're looking at, trying to make sure we have sizes for everyone. We had sizes, but we didn't have them, they gone. And we didn't have the money right then to pay for it.
Can you provide coats for those who don't have coats?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they had to be homeless identified, yes, ma'am. I plan on buying coats, jackets, because I kind of looked at it like this, well, it may be easier to buy coats and short sleeve shirts because you can put the coat on over the short sleeve shirt, and you can wear a short sleeve shirt all year. That's just my thought on trying to spend the money right and make sure we have enough for our students. Also,
One question, how
Yes,
many
sir.
students did you identify as being homeless? Ballpark?
over 100, over 100.
I'm sure that money was based off
Well, yes, sir, the money was based off
per
of,
pupil.
calculations done probably during COVID, like the midway through COVID, they had to submit, numbers through the State Department, and that's where they got the numbers from. Yeah. Naylor, Dr. Bermucci mentioned that Naylor did exit school improvement. We had a webinar, they sent out some information, last week. So that's kudos to Naylor. However, we did have one school to enter school improvement. We thought we were celebrating in the office and we did the happy dance. And,
Then we turned to page 5.
Mr. Eagle Eye over there, he looked at the last page and said, y'all, come on up here and look at this page. He said, am I reading this right? I said, no, I hope not. And Pyramid is on there for ATSI. And you know, Pyramid just got out of school improvement the other year. So now they're back in school improvement, and they're identified as ATSI, that's additional targeted supports and improvements. They should receive an allocation of somewhere about no more than $40,000, but the $40,000 has to go specifically toward the subgroups in which they identify, which are economically disadvantaged and Black and African American. Those two subgroups that got them to be identified, so we gotta make sure we put the money there. And so Ms. Redmond was on the meeting last week, and they sent out information. We have a school improvement conference they want us to go to, so we told her, and the good thing is, we can get out of school improvement in 1 year. Before with the other one, with Naylor, you were in there for like 3 years, 5 years, but this one with Pyramid, we can get out this year. We can get in and we can get out. So we're gonna do our best to put the money where it's gonna work and count, so we can get out and stay out. I had budget meetings with everybody. Oh, we have an audit next week. I talked with the office director of school improvement. What they're trying to do is they're trying to close out Naylor. Naylor's, exit school improvement, so they're gonna come in and audit. It's a virtual audit. I called yesterday to confirm to see what accommodations they need, and they told me that it's gonna be a virtual audit. So basically what I have to do is I have to either give them a username in our Title I crate so they can do the desk audit, or it's another platform I can upload it to. So I'm looking at the best way to put all the information there for them. And also they have a fixed asset audit too. Mr. Wade did a fixed asset audit, today, and we're gonna get together tomorrow, off of that. But the guy from MD said they're gonna need me to go with my computer there on like a Zoom or something. They're gonna give me a room number, give me an asset. I gotta go with my computer, turn around so they can look at it, take a picture just to make sure it is what it is. So, there will be some, fixed asset stuff that they're gonna wanna see. And that's it as far as NAILA, school improvement, and the audit. We received all our FY '24 funds, had budget meetings with all the principals, to let them know what was in the budget, what they were spending money on. And, most of the principals have reached out to different vendors, that were here earlier previously about, doing some effective, planning, some PD with teachers, and also planning for some tutorials in the spring. I know Ms. Johnson is gonna, do some in the fall because her students test in the fall and the spring. So she had something today, and she got something today. She's gonna start working with her students on. And that's all I have for a federal program.
All right, do you all have any questions for Ms. Towers? All right, district operations, Mr. Johnson.
Good evening. As far as our projects dealing with ELSA 2, of course, we're closing out on that project this year. They actually just finished the roof and pyramid, the portion of their work Collins was doing. We received a warranty on yesterday. So that part, and the only thing left is just them making sure the thermostats and the Johnson control system is working. And that's ELSA 2. ELSA 3, we have completed the roofs at the middle school. I think right now they just doing the final touches. The high school, everything is blacked in, and if I'm not mistaken, he said in 2 weeks they should be through at the high school totally as far as roof. And I think they just doing the finishing, the gutters, the faces, I think is what he said. Now, as for the HVAC portion, we're still waiting on those big units. Possibly the end of October is when the gym units are supposed to be being shipped. So even after they're being shipped, it may be 2 weeks before we actually receive them here. So we're looking at possibly mid-November before we have middle school and high school gym units installed.
Those units, were those, the heat, is it affected?
No, both gyms, I wanna say that was in February of last year, we had heaters installed in both
Okay,
gyms.
okay, that's those hanging, okay,
We had
gotcha,
hanging heaters, so we had those just in case we ran into this issue
okay.
this year. But we may possibly be looking at, some changes to, playing basketball at the high school, just depending on how close they're running to the season.
Yeah, but that's a restroom issue, isn't
Yeah, that's a restroom issue.
Mhm.
We're still waiting on the estimate from the insurance company as it relates to the roof replacement for the hail damage. I think the last time we spoke, they were coming back out to, I think, agree to transportation and warehouse part to get those estimates added in. Hopefully we will hear some back sometime next week on what they would actually award us. I know it may be slightly below what the bid came in at, so we just wait to get those final numbers. The soft washing is continuing. The last place I think that they did was Vail. I think those last pyramid, the last pictures that we received. I get those pictures to you next, for our next board meeting. We did get new teacher desks in across the district. All teachers have new desks. I think for the most part, from what I see, everybody was happy. So you'll see in the report disposals of the old teacher desks that we have to get approved. We do have quite quite a few, and we looked at ways of either trying to donate, salvage, or
Sale.
if possible, get somebody willing to buy. And I do have a report in for Snyder Electric. Ms. Harris, she was supposed to be here to present tonight, but she did have an emergency. She will be here for the November meeting, but I do have that information for you to kind of look through, and if you got questions, just let me know.
Is that in the packet?
It was just uploaded.
Yeah, it's the second link.
Second link.
Oh, it's-
Under district operations.
Yeah.
Sniper.
I got you, I got you. I got you.
And this is just kind of a summary of where they are right now, the phases that they went through, the scope of work that they looked at. And so if you can kind of see all the proposed, improvements. And we did apply for 2 grants, and we're still waiting. The award date said October, so we still hadn't to give a specific date in October, so we hadn't heard anything, so hopefully by November meeting, we had to have a different answer on whether we receive those grant funds or if we won't.
All right, do you all have any questions regarding district operations?
Mhm.
If not, can I get a motion to approve the cabinet updates with the recommendations in the report?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Now, is that voting on what?
No, it's
Yeah,
not
I'll
voting.
do-
Okay, all right,
It's line item.
go ahead.
What was your question, Richard?
George answered.
What was your question?
The recommendation, the proposals that she had from the business.
Yes,
department.
it's all together.
We're
That's-
voting on that right now?
Mhm.
Oh, we
From
voting on,
each-
it's
from
not on
each
line
department.
item?
We voted on this.
Apologize.
I asked for a motion to approve the cabinet updates, reports, and their requests, their recommendations. So everything that came under the cabinet updates.
You need to put them in line items, all right? That's so moved.
I second.
What y'all do with the previous motion?
It was, it didn't.
It died, it didn't go anywhere.
He interrupted.
I-
It died from an interruption.
I know, I seconded it too.
All right.
Let's try it again.
So moved.
Lucille?
Second again.
It has been moved by George Evans, seconded by Lucia Holmes to approve the cabinet updates, reports, and their recommendations. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes
Now
have it,
then,
motion
May I
carries.
say something, man? Let's put those as line items next time. It's a
Okay.
request,
They
you know,
need to be in line
for
item.
getting the software. Got no problem with it, but at least in the minutes it'd be as line items and we voted on it individually.
All right. Approval of consent agenda.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Can I get a second?
I second it.
It has been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Date for the next meeting, proposed date is November 13th.
That's the day we played the Cleveland Central versus Bayou game, so.
What are we playing?
Put-
Basketball. Please let me go to the game.
Your meeting moved.
Oh,
That's on a Monday?
Let's do it on Tuesday night then.
We need to all be at that game.
Tuesday, the 14th,
14th.
6 o'clock.
let me look.
Richard got to check his calendar.
November 14th.
When do we go to Jackson? Is it November?
We'll get that in for
November
lunch.
what? Jackson.
That next morning at 7:00.
Sheila Monday.
Oh,
I can't do the 16th.
is November the 9th too early?
What is that on?
It's
Thursday?
on Thursday.
That's the first Tuesday,
That's the first Thursday.
first Thursday or second?
That's the
Is
second
it better to
Thursday.
go forward or backwards as far as paying the
Probably.
bills?
This month went fall.
with us running weekly dockets, we can always put the electric, utility bills on the weekly docket and then you ratify it and then for me. That's okay with you all.
If we could do the 9th or
16th,
9th or
I can't
16th,
do the, 16th.
could we move it back to the 9th?
I'm
It's-
retired.
The 13th is a
John, is there
Monday.
anything else on round the ninth that we were looking at?
No, don't forget in November, we're also closing out ESER 2. So any claims, because I got a request the funds December 6th.
So
That's
November
why,
9th is
that's
too
why I was
soon?
saying, is it better to go
So it's the
earlier
20th?
or later for that month?
What about the 20th?
We can have the regular on the 9th and then we can do a special call. for claims.
Let's do that.
That's what I
All right, so in conjunction with this, are we gonna talk about principal meetings later on in this
When do
meeting?
we
or-
normally do it? Is it December? I don't know why
No,
I'm thinking.
we've always done them earlier than this,
Okay.
way earlier than this.
Before the scores come in? Because we just got the scores.
Scores would
It's
come-
always been way before evaluation.
Some would come, we would normally do them in September, but no, it's a lot of times late August, because they had preliminary stuff. And we would do them, they get their action plan for the year.
You want the scores from the Monday?
Last year we did it after, October, because I remember she was here then.
Prior to that.
Yeah,
But, you know, we don't need to do them in December,
right.
school year's half over with.
We do them on the 9th?
Well, that's what I'm asking the board. Could we do them the afternoon of the 9th and then go straight in the board meeting?
So are we gonna set, now, before we needed 2 days to hear from all of, So,
If you give them 15 minutes each, and we're giving the packet
How many schools?
how many,
for 30 minutes
how many,
each.
I think last time we had, what, 30 minutes each? Or was it 15? You
Let's don't do
remember?
it over 2 days, let's try to do it in a day.
15 minutes?
We need short.
On the
when-
9th.
When they come in, where's your problem areas?
If
How you
you ask
gonna
for a
fix
dog
it?
and pony show, you gonna get it.
Well, that's
And we
what-
don't want that either.
We want Lisa the,
we won't see
Well,
results.
why don't y'all let the superintendent and the team make a recommendation to you on what's gonna be more effective? Somebody stand up there just trying to get through for 15 minutes, or somebody being able to make their presentation and then answer good questions at the end of it.
but we need to get on our personal schedules. And,
I'm good with the 9th, if that's.
you know,
what
if,
we're-
could you
Can we
take
start?
off, could you take off most of them?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And if you're gonna have a special call meeting, you can move some stuff from the 9th that's not pertinent to the special call date, and try to devote your time to getting these reports done.
Special call will be virtual probably.
Yeah. Oh,
Whatever.
let's
start-
see what
let's see
you
what we
can
can do
do.
on the 9th.
Let's go ahead and say that we're gonna do it. You know, if we started at 9, and, you know, elementary's in the morning and secondary's in the afternoon maybe, or whatever you come up with. And,
Try to do them all in one day, Richard, or?
yeah, it's easier for us.
Yeah, I see that.
And, you know, I don't know how productive it is for that side of the room for them to do these, but for the board, they're very productive because we kind of get to hear your plan and ask, are you doing anything different? That's the main thing we need to know. You know, tell us your success and why you think it was a success. Tell us your failure
Why you think you
and
failed?
why you think it's a failure, what you're doing different.
And I think this time we need to do it just principal, not a team.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Right.
We don't need to hear all that other stuff. We need to hear
I
one
think that was the
handout.
intent, that was the intent the last time.
And
Versus
so,
they just brought people.
Reggie, is the old thing, what old man you say, we just need to know if the line's going up, or the line's going down.
And how we gonna get
And
it?
How we gonna
get
get that line going up?
That's right.
We don't need all that rigmarole.
And,
And a real
And who needs
plan.
help?
who needs it? If you need help,
It'd be
if you need help, don't come in here and tell me you need a new building, or you need blinds, or you need,
We do need windows, but that's the difference.
you know, that's down the table. We need to know academically what you're doing. Agree, Lucille?
100%.
So we're planning for the
Let's just
9th.
plan for the whole day on the 9th and then.
Okay, so you're still on number 5, right? So you're
Yes.
talking about a special call meeting when?
On the 20th.
Oh, then, I thought it was November 9th.
The meeting with presentations, November the 9th, special call meeting on the 20th.
Okay.
That's right.
Oh,
Say it again.
hold
It'll
on.
be the 29th or the 30th.
Special call the 29th,
Oh,
Special call when now?
November 29th,
okay.
that
and
can
it'll be
virtual.
virtual.
I don't know why I'm writing it down.
It needs to be, don't need to be at 10 o'clock. I got a meeting at 10 o'clock on the 29th.
Afternoon lunch,
That'd be better.
1.
Yeah. I know it'll be quick, but,
It's okay.
All right, can I get a motion to set, a work session day for, hearing principals report on November the 9th
I'll make that motion.
and the 29th for special call meeting.
That's a Friday. No, Wednesday.
Well, it needs to be special,
Wednesday.
that.
The 9th for the meeting and
The 9th needs to be a work session.
And
with the regular
Board
meeting.
meeting at 6
and-
o'clock.
mhm.
Okay, yeah. I'll
And
make
then the
that motion.
29th,
Special call.
special call at 1.
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Rich Boggs, seconded by Lucille Holmes to schedule the next meetings for November the 9th and the 29th. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried.
Maybe David would be in the country.
Approval of claims docket. I had, just 2 questions, and it could be just on page 22, with the Shirley instructional material.
Yes.
It's coded to activity funds. Is it particular, I mean, they're paying for it from the activity fund?
Depending on whether they have funds available in their federal budget or their district budget. And it may not be something that they asked for or budgeted for, or something the district is already offering,
Mm-hmm.
but they want this specifically.
And then they just find a way to pay
They
for it?
find a way to pay for it from themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, the, water bills,
What page you on?
we on page 24. We used to have a listing as to what schools, for what bills, but that's not there anymore. I'm just gonna ask you if you can go back and add those for the
We
next
can.
meeting.
Of course, we made changes in AP, and so she didn't know to add the locations, because we usually just put the location at the end of the invoice number.
Mhm.
And if you don't key it in, you're not gonna see it on your report.
Right,
So
okay.
I'll make sure she adds it.
Okay, all right.
I got some. Imagine that. Page 2.
All right.
Oh. Synergenics,
That's our server replacement.
that's part of that. That don't count at any rate. Okay? McGraw-Hill on page 2. Is that textbooks, new textbooks, that's every student got textbooks, is that, I mean, is that what that is?
That's for the 6th grade science textbook.
Or history.
World history. So every kid's got textbooks they take home. Okay. Oh, page 2 also, Fred Miller. $6,715, band uniforms.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Okay.
That's a
Page 4.
Mhm.
Page 4 is, hold on now. Amro, I guess, what is
Amarillo Music,
Oh,
that's Bayou Academy.
Okay. How would we have identified that as being as board members? By the fund number?
fund number, of course, is title, but you still
Right.
wouldn't know. Title just tells you that the funds are being reimbursed.
Is there any way you can add it in the description?
When it's for value, you want me to just add
Yeah.
it when it's for value?
Or
Would that
any,
help?
or any other school.
So you wanna know what,
Where, you know, 'cause I see $12,484
$484.
for safe, drug-free title, you know, and I know we've spent, so it kind of stuck out to me.
so you want, for each invoice, you wanna see,
If it's going outside.
If it's
of our
something outside of our, outside of Cleveland School District.
I know, but he said he wanna see it for every other school too. I'm just trying to
Well,
make sure I understand.
we're
If
only,
it's
we're only giving
PDS.
Title I money to PDS and
And
Dodge
right.
I'm
County.
thinking he's talking about any other school in the district.
No.
Gotcha.
No, outside of our school
I
district.
got you.
All right, page 13.
Okay.
Going back to the other, what would that be, safe and drug-free?
Safe and drug-free?
That's Title IV.
Title IV.
That's the fund it came out of?
Yes.
We don't have a description of what they're gonna use that money for?
Yeah, what they do, that's part of their well-rounded allocation, and those instruments were part of their well-rounded music plans.
That's what I thought.
Yes, sir.
We fought it tooth and nail.
All right,
Mhm.
page 13.
Okay?
Oh, Navigator 360?
PBIS web license.
Okay, so that, I guess that leads up to my question a while ago, is eventually the board will be able to get a report from you of what that web licenses we're paying on a yearly basis, whether it's a 12-month license or a 5-year license.
You're exactly right. And anything that's over 12 months will be recorded as a liability.
Okay, so, I was gonna ask this question a while ago, but anything like through Bailey and all that, that wouldn't go in there. That's not a liability now, because we,
No, but our, like stuff like our county software, we use Marathon as our county software, that will be a liability. Our Ready Curriculum Associates will be a liability. These are multi-year
right.
leases or, not leases, contracts.
Anything that's multi-year,
Yeah.
more than 1 year, we'll be able to get a report from you showing what we're paying in license.
I'll also include the short-term ones too, just so you can see it, but it
Don't
won't
y'all
be
think that would be
included.
helpful to us, Paulette?
So
Because every
But we
month,
got so
we're
many.
approving a web license, and we have no idea what that's going
And we
to.
already, if we
And
do
you,
pay
and
them
each
out.
one of you are liable.
Exactly.
So, yes.
That'll be a monthly
Including that
report.
money that just
I can
went for
include it
safe
as a
and
monthly report if
drug-free
you want,
Yeah.
regional instruments, we're liable.
Correct. You're liable.
or I can give it to you as they're added.
Okay.
So as we're approving them, like say for instance, this month, we're approving Navigate 360. Next month, I can show you a report where I've added that to our platform, so you can kind of see.
So initially, we'll get a full list,
As we
and then as we
pay
add,
them
you'll
to the list.
just
Yes.
say we're adding this one to the list, and we'll
So
get
if you
an
have
update.
100 web licenses, you'll see
So
all
if you
100.
put that part of your report initially, for us to kind of ask questions about, make sure we're understanding it, and then from then on, maybe just highlight one that comes on,
Yeah, that makes
so that we
sense.
know something new came on that list.
Okay, and just, after speaking to the company, it's probably gonna take us 60 to 90 days to go through everything.
So the first of the year, you should,
First of the year, you guys should have something in hand to see how far we've come on pulling everything the district approved in FY '23. We won't go past, go backwards, but
Right,
of
right.
course, if it was a multi-year, it's gonna be included in FY '23 anyway.
Okay.
so if
Then I have-
it's a multi-year, we're on year 2, and it's a 5-year,
Be in there.
it'll tell us that.
That's great.
Okay, that was my question.
And we can ask questions, or are we
Right.
getting our money's worth?
We see where we are with them.
Yep, useless reports and stuff, you'll be able to analyze too.
And I think one of the things the board, and I may be wrong, is if we have duplication of these services, if one school's using this, and one school's using that, why are we paying for two?
Because these contracts are already entered into, so now we're on top of it. Nathan and I are always going, talking back and forth about did you see this school trying to get this web license? Well, you denied it in federal, but they want to put it in district funds and try to purchase it and bypass Nathan. And so anytime I see a web license, I flag and ask Nathan, hey, take a look at this. Do we have this already? Are we paying for this already?
And I remember Ms. Towers touched on it, I think it was a couple of months ago in one of the reports, that they were streamlining, they were looking at what everybody was using, and if somebody was using something that was, somebody else was using something else, and they're doing the same thing, that they were trying to streamline that,
And the
so,
board,
yeah.
you know, if he denies it in federal programs and it tries to come through district or activity fund or however they want to do it, or whatever, you know, if y'all don't catch it and it's presented to us, of course, we're thinking that.
That we've
That
already,
is okay.
You've approved it.
yeah. We've caught a lot of them.
Yeah.
We're on top of it.
That's nothing. All right,
Web licenses. Make sure we have-
page 20. I'm about to lose yours.
Cafeteria renovation,
There you go. Is that about completed?
done.
Done? That's our
That's what
payment
we
on
paid.
it. They're ready to roll. They're cooking fried chicken and pizza and.
And no
So,
fried
they-
burgers,
they-
no fried.
No fried,
Food.
no fried.
Pretty good lunch, I had lunch there last
Yeah, we
week,
can have
good
lunch
lunch.
someday.
It's steamed.
We can do lunch that day at the board.
The day we have.
There you go.
meet
We'll
on-
get up to work session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, page 28. Come on, beat me to it now.
I'm getting there. You know, you all see my marks. I'm anticipating you.
Got.
All right, go.
Ooh, I had to catch myself.
Mobile home for transportation.
Home, Adams Home Center.
Adams Homes in $45,370.
And that's for what?
That's that mobile home. Remember that the city got their building back from us, had to purchase something for transportation.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I got you. All right, got one more, page 34.
Fencing.
Where's the fencing at?
I'm sorry. Which one are you talking about?
Are you on
Baseball
it?
field.
$8,456 for fencing, Cleveland Fence Company.
That's fencing around the units, I think that the Bell Academy,
Right.
pyramid. I'm trying to see.
Around our area.
Around there, you get-
To
you
keep
get
them
compressed.
from,
Are they wooden or metal?
Chain link.
chain link.
Madam President, I'm ready to vote.
All right, can I get a motion to, approve the docket and claims docket excluding claim number 429501?
What page is that?
It's on your claims docket, I'm gonna have to recuse myself from that one.
What page is that?
Page 9,
Nah, let me get out.
429501.
Well, that's some of your dollars, don't
That's dental.
it?
What page you on?
Page
On
nine.
claims
Oh,
docket.
I'm sorry.
Page 9?
On the claims docket. the
Oh,
second
okay.
sheet.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get over it.
Page 9, 429501.
Oh, that's right.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the,
Do you want to recuse yourself?
I'm gonna recuse
Why don't
my,
you
I wanted to
recuse
pull
yourself,
that
Mike?
one. Well, however we
Why
wanna
don't you
do
just go
it.
ahead and
The full
recuse
thing?
yourself, and I'll do the.
You do the whole thing.
Sounds good.
We have a quorum here.
All right,
Okay.
All you do, you not vote, man.
no,
No,
we're
you
not
got it.
getting argued.
We're not Oh, I need a
Let the record
motion.
reflect that Ms.
I did.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can go.
Motion,
I
need a
so
mo-
move that we accept the claims docket.
Second, Jordan.
Okay, then.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
Ah, come on back, Rhonda. I'm not Rhonda. You know what your name is. You know what your name is.
All right.
Come on, girl.
The Beach Boys made a song like that, wasn't it, Rhonda?
That's healthy.
She probably went to the bathroom. You sure went to the bathroom?
We rolling now. We rolling.
Come on, help me run.
All right.
On number 7, Madam President. On number
Okay, approval to dispose of teacher desks. Any questions about the disposals?
Move approved.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I so move.
7. Second.
It's been moved by Lucia Holmes, seconded by Richard Box to approve disposal of teachers' desks. Approval of expo facility usage.
Okay.
One question. Was that for that last night?
Yeah.
From now on, it needs to be right out here on the football field. It don't need to be no expo field. It ain't no better than it used to be. That's plenty right out here. Who said, who wanted it at the expo field?
Well, we couldn't do it in the gym because of the air.
What about on the football field, beautiful weather?
Do you know,
Huh?
do you know it's gonna be good weather? I mean, you gotta make sure those girls are renting those dresses.
Could we have done it at East Side, the old East Side? Something wrong with that gym over there, too?
Air's out. Air's out.
Anyway.
Where the expo building called?
We'll have the air fixed by next year.
2,800.
The air will be fixed by next year.
Right.
Yeah,
Air conditioning will be put in January.
Oh, I was doing that fan
December, January, we'll have it.
we'll save that 2,800.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I second.
It's been moved by Richard Box, seconded by George Evans to approve the expo facility use. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval of amended consultant services, that was an update.
Right, the board had already approved, Kid First and Daily Education for consultants. And, with the Gear Up plan being approved, a month or so ago, I wanted to use a vendor strictly for Gear Up, which are our 9th grade students and our 8th grade students, for pullouts. And so, Kirkland scored
They were
the
right under there.
third, highest on our RFP. And so I wanted to just use them strictly for the 8th graders and 9th graders. I did speak with the principals in the principals meeting about, using them for, student tutorials, and they both agreed that they were fine with that because, they get them some additional support.
So, that's 3 vendors.
Yes,
So we're gonna have 3.
yes.
But now with Gear Up, that's not district funds, that's Gear Up funds,
That's
right?
zero, right.
So,
Yeah, that's, and.
Is it wise to have 3 different groups in the district?
the-
3 different opinions?
Richard, I wouldn't put all my eggs in one
I
basket.
understand that.
This is just the 8th and 9th.
Yes.
Yes, sir. What they'll do is they gonna travel with the 8th and 9th grade, because we have the grant until the 8th graders graduate. So the plan is to be able to have one vendor to do some support with those students, so we can actually track the students with the vendor on pullouts and the remediation.
so
And,
that's basically would strengthen
right, being able to,
from middle school on up.
yes, ma'am, because, next year, all the students will be at the high school. Yes, ma'am.
Lisa, this is what you want.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
It's been moved by Richard Box, seconded by Lucia Holmes to amend the consultant services. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval to partner with DSU Office of Financial Aid. Have you all had a chance to review that?
Only you looked through it.
Work study? You got any
Oh, I
questions?
read that.
If the MOUs make it to y'all, it's made it to me, or it's made it past me.
Okay.
Move approved.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Go ahead,
It's been
Lucia.
moved by George Evans, seconded by Lucia Holmes to approve the DSU partnership. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval of 11 and 12 are also MOUs. Do you all have any questions?
Oh, I do on the dentist stuff.
Smile to go.
So,
Okay,
They
yeah.
gonna have fire commission, Richard.
I understand that, George, but what are they, you know, we got in this last time, one other time, Lisa, and you'll remember. Oh, they were supposed to do screenings and stuff like that, and they were filling cavities.
Not on school ground. I don't think.
They brought the van or whatever they had. So, you know, when they put in their preventative restorative dental treatment, that worries me.
Do they feel cavities on
Now,
campus?
it's, when I read it, what I understood it to be was that they would, it'll be mobile, they'll do the cleanings. And I thought it said something about referring them to a local dentist. But it does say restorative, which makes you wonder.
It says what,
Restorative, so that would be fillings.
on
It
campus?
does say,
It's a
does say
mobile,
if they find a problem.
it's a mobile,
So that's a lab.
yeah, you know, yeah, kinda like,
A lab
yeah,
on- yeah.
a dental office on wheels, that's what it is. And then they would, also in there, it said something about the billing. If the person doesn't have insurance, it's free. If they have insurance, they'll bill their insurance.
And most of our children are on, lots of, a high percentage of our children are on chips or Medicaid.
I think what I was looking at more so was on page 421 of their proposal, which is their step-by-step process. Consent forms to be distributed, included part of the registration, process enhancement, consents are returned, coordinate with the school and the nurse, arrangements to be made prior to the treatment date. So there, if we start having issues, I don't even remember that, but if we did, that is an issue. As to what they will actually do, there's gotta be, and I had mentioned this to Ms. Bell, passing it down the line, whoever was sponsoring this, the whole parental idea of not only consent, but what are we doing, the limited treatment of whether it be cleaning, screening, and if there's an issue, to be more to be done. We can't just fix it then.
You have
Something
to
else
get
has gotta be,
right.
there's gotta be a follow-up.
I think we ought to table this.
Okay.
And it was prior to y'all getting on the board, Lucille, we had an issue with this same type of thing. And then they went to their local dentist and all their benefits had been used
With that other,
with our clinic.
uh-huh.
And some things that really wasn't, you know,
Really not.
I'm not saying they didn't do them, I mean, they did them and built them, but
But they were gonna do it one time.
Can this be discussed again on the 9th?
I would think.
And maybe
table
finalize,
this and-
just to give you time to answer the
and
question?
Whoever this went through.
Smiles to
Have
go.
them come and let's ask questions. You know,
That'll be good.
My only thing is restorative.
Yeah, let's table that one and then go with the rest, and then we'll have the sponsor come in for the November 9th meeting.
For this,
Explain.
Yeah, sounds
And,
good.
Still got a lot of kids that need it.
Oh, I understand that, and we got pressured into it last time, the very same argument, and we ended up with some issues. And, if we get it right to start with, our kids need it, I agree. If it's just a screening and send them to the proper place, that's different than screening them, doing the work, and then they go to their local dentist and all their benefits are gone.
Well, they ain't gotta get that done.
And that kind of goes, I see what you're saying, but that kind of goes with any outsourcing that we're doing for medical stuff. You know, like the eyeglass screenings, the physicals when people come in and do that kind of stuff too, so.
Yeah.
Or the
Let's just table
private,
this and get some more information on
Yeah, this thing about a
Officers.
queue thing.
it. Yeah. Well, it's actually Liberty,
Liberty,
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yes,
Smiles to go.
Liberty, Mississippi.
And then,
Who was
but the
that?
other one in there is for
Right,
CSD.
right, we'll do that. I make
All
a
right.
motion to approve J. Fleming Education.
Mhm.
Let's do that separately.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Say it on Fleming.
Okay, it's been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans to approve J.H. Fleming. All in favor? Ayes have it, motion carried.
Move we
Then I-
table Delta Health Alliance.
Smiles, yeah.
Smiles to go.
Smiles, I mean.
Can I get a second? It has been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Boggs, to table Smiles to Go. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Delta Health Alliance, are there any questions regarding that MOU? Y'all got any questions? Can I get a motion to approve?
Make the motion to approve.
Can I get a second? It's been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by Lucia Holmes, to approve Delta Health Alliance MOU. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Approval of the 23-24 procurement plan for child nutrition.
Make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans, to approve procurement. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Motion to approve the MOU with Mississippi State Extension with CTE.
Looked at it?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm good with it.
Second.
It has been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans, to approve the CTE MOU. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Dual credit updated agreement with Kahoma Community College. Have you already?
Looked at it, Lisa?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved by George Evans, seconded by Richard Boggs, to approve the dual credit for Kahoma. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Approve a public procurement review board exemption.
I didn't understand that
It's,
I was kind of
it's
confused.
part of the E-rate category 2 bidding. We have to get an exemption, so in order to do the RFP bid instead of a reverse auction. E-rate requires the reverse auction for the bids, and we would rather do an RFP and do the normal bidding that we do here, but we will still, I have to get this exemption into this board by November 1st, so it'll go before the board, and I will have that done when we get ready to do our bidding for next year.
So you're basically asking for exemption to do it the way we've been doing it?
Yes, sir, so we don't have to do the reverse auction.
Okay.
We
I'm
have
satisfied the way
control.
we've been doing E-rates.
Yes, sir.
Can I get a sec?
Make a motion.
Can I get?
Second.
It's been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans, to approve the public procurement review board exemption. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Remove from table and approve September policy review.
Make a motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans, to remove from table the September policies review. Discussion and table October policies. I do have one policy to discuss. Is Section 8, Policy Code EBB Safety Program, page 50.
8 EDB?
Section E.
Where are you getting page numbers from?
You have to flip, go, just, when you click on, just go out all the way down to page 50. Policy Code EBB Safety Program.
Are we gonna table this?
Yes, but I wanted to discuss, just bring up what the concern was on this. I'll go ahead and read it as you were getting to it. All practices and rehearsals for any school-sponsored activity shall take place in a school or on the school grounds under the supervision of school personnel. There should be no practice or rehearsals for school-sponsored activities in private homes or public businesses. So my concern with that is that, like with swim, we don't have swimming facilities. So we might want to consider adding a clause or wording regarding practicing.
Can we add without prior approval of the superintendent? Would that be allowable?
Mr. Johnson, you're our policy person.
Or can the word discretion be used?
By the principal, by superintendent?
This is being tabled, so you got time to think
I
about
see
it.
what you say that could be you know, baseball team goes and practices at,
And like cheer right now,
Cheer, I
they're
was about to say,
practicing.
the way y'all's cheer is set up right now, they
Yeah.
go over
I
to,
mean,
Yeah.
archery,
Parks.
golf, tennis, we got.
It's several
so
activities.
tennis goes to,
Violating our own policy.
what you call
Yeah.
it.
We don't
tennis
have a
courts
golf
are very
course.
big.
It just needs to be reworded
Mhm.
to where it will cover it, but it will allow it.
Charles, you make a note of that?
Yes, I'm trying to think of a cleaner way.
You can, it's being tabled, so you can just bring it back for approval next month.
As long as you got it on your calendar, then probably the next board meeting.
All right, can I get a motion to, oh, did you all have anything
Table.
else? Can I get a motion to table the October,
I second.
policy? It's been moved by Lucia Holmes, seconded by Richard Boggs to table the October policy review. All in favor? Ayes have it, motion carried. The MSBA 2024 surveys, Ms. Bill, you have all of ours? Okay. It's being recorded that all board members, with the exception of Debbie Farinelli, have completed the surveys. Can I get a motion?
I so move.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved by Lucia Holmes, seconded by Richard Boggs to approve the MSBA 2024 School Board Legislative Survey. Approval of personnel agenda, do you all have any questions?
I don't have any.
I don't have,
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
I so move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Lucia Holmes, seconded by Richard Boggs to approve personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Can I get a motion to consider executive session?
So moved. So moved.
Can I get a, it's been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by George Evans to consider executive session. We'll be going into executive session for student misconduct. Can I get a motion to
Any
enter?
legal matters, Arnold?
No,
Say that again.
no, sir. No,
No legal matters.
So moved.
And we're adding personnel also to that, so add that on there for executive session personnel.
Okay. I make a motion to go into executive session for, student misconduct and personnel.
Okay, can I get a second?
I do. Second.
It's been moved by Richard Boggs, seconded by Lucia Holmes to enter executive session for student misconduct and personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion carried. Let's
How
take
long is your break?
2 minutes.
Everything I heard 2 and 5.
You gotta take a long
20 minutes to 8.
Oh, 3.